Hello my friends, it's been quite some time Welcome back to another video, and today we'll be looking at the second KB Defense keyboard on this channel. I guess I won't need much introduction to this thing over here, but yep, this is the Tofu65 2.0. Courtesy of MKBMY sending a unit over plus the switches and keycaps for review. So if you want to grab the stuff used in this video, check out the links below. Now, if you're an OG in the custom mechanical keyboard scene, well, at least older than me, then you'll know that the original Tofu is perhaps one of the signature boards back in those days when tray mount customs are still a thing. There's plenty of video telling to the history of the old Tofu, so we'll skip over that and we'll quickly jump into this. Not sure what the reason of the naming behind the board, but yeah, I guess it is just about a simple white rectangle that exudes premium at a price that matches its value. Yep, on a quick side note, the Tofu 2.0 actually has both 60% and 65% like the one over here, so yeah, pick the one that you're comfortable with. So let's find out what's being offered by this kit. So you have this case over here, it's kind of like a reflective multicolor box. So you open it on the front and you see the keyboard kit. It comes in like a two-piece top and bottom case type of design, and you got a place for the weight. And I went ahead and did some mods over here. So yeah, these are the these are Poron gasket little cubes, and I applied a bit of the force break mod over at these places, about like 7 of them in total. Yeah, so that's the case. Now, and you have the accessories box. You get this USB-C braided cable, kind of good, quite tough. And you get the screws and screwdrivers for building the keyboard, and you got things like the stabilizers, housing, stamps, whatever. And the main point of this video is this kind of what I call silicone bowl gaskets. It comes in 3 different weights, 50, 60 and 70. And they are color coded, so yeah, you don't need to be too confused about this. And you get your USB daughter board and the associated screws. You got the stabilizer shims if you want to use them, then yeah. And you get a pack of foam as always. You got the under PCB, the IXPE, and the mid-pay foam. 3 types, yeah, not too shabby. Well, as for the plate, you usually will just get 1 by default, but the guys over there sent over 2, so I can test a little bit more config. So this has a bit of flex cuts for the alu plate. And the PC plate, no flex cuts. I like this. And lastly, yeah, you have the PCB, the 65% size PCB. And yeah, I went ahead and installed these cherry screw-ins. Yeah, they're kind of tough. They're not too hard to tune, and yeah, old but go, I guess. And yeah, you got the feet for the bottom case, so you don't just go ahead and scratch everything else through the table. So yeah, the keyboard kit itself is done, so let's talk about switches. Well, perhaps you've came across this name because you heard it somewhere from another recently announced group buy, which I'm not gonna get into. But yeah, these are the Gateron Baby Raccoon switches. The reason with this is I want to try some long poles with the Tofu, because the PCB is 1.2mm and you got some flex cuts on the plate, so I'm scared of the sound being a little too muted or too quiet. So yeah, long poles will definitely help on that matter. And for my personal taste, I'm a clacky guy. Plus, I would like to hear the unique sound of the switches more so than getting things foamed up. Plus, what's the fun of flex cuts when you just put foams, then it just becomes stiff again, Yeah, so for the specs of the switches, it has a PC top, PA66 nylon milky bottom, and palm stem, which comes in this grey-brown type of vintage style color. The spring is a 20mm double stretch gold-plated, actuates at 50 bike grams and bottoms out at about 61 grams. Yeah, since this is a long pole, the travel distance naturally will become shorter at about 3.6 millimeters if you're wondering. And they are factory loop, which will be used fully in stock form. And the box is kinda cute, yeah. By the way, this one box is 35 piece, so you'll need to get like 2 to 3 boxes if you want to keep them and as a collection or whatever. Yeah, before talking about the keycaps, let's quickly mention on how I'm going to build this thing. I'll be doing the aluminum and PC plate with the 50-gram silicone bowl mounts exclusively. I'll explain the reasons later. So for the allo config, let's go for a chiller theme by using this Botanical PBT clones. Well, the hint of the green combined with the white slate of the keycaps and the keyboard, which makes it quite cozy and easy for the eyes as well, I think. Yeah, so let's try and build this block of tofu. Now with the allo plate done, let's switch over to the PC plate and see what kind of sound difference is there. And also I'll be switching up the keycaps to my personal unit of the Aifei Pyga Blue double shot ABAs that's come in this design, very similar to a certain set from PBT fans. Yeah, but anyway, let's see if it is any better. Now, the first thing I highly recommend you doing is applying the force break mod, a double layer masking tape in these places. Without them, you won't be hearing these good sounds and instead constant ping fest with each keystroke. Next up, config comparison. The first one with the alloy plate with PBT keycaps, which to my surprise maintained a fair bit of clack. The flex cut did contribute to a more bouncy feel as the plate reverberates more and creates this funny feeling movement. As for the PC plate, I am utterly astonished. The double shot ABS keycaps plus the flexi options creates this deep and full sound without the use of a single foam. Yes, in fact both builds have no foams at all, as long as you use the force break mod and they're there, combined with the fact that this is a 65%, you don't really need to worry about hollowness at all. Dang, so good. Well, we are done with the sound, so let's talk about the mounting style. As you know, I built both configs with the 50 gram silicone bowls, although there's 60 grams and there's 70 grams, available for use. 70 gram is way too tough, as extensive period of typing will lead to slight fingertip pain and wrist tension. I'm not even kidding. Yes, for the 60 grams, they are a nice middle ground, but still leads to mild fingertip pain, felt ever so slightly. Yeah, so the 50 gram for the bounce and soft tapping feel then. For the silicone socks, they are behaving like how you might expect it to be, and yeah, they are pretty much on par with other gasket mounted boards that uses this kind of gasket socks. They are not bad, and they are not wrong. I'm gonna give credit to them. But when compared against the unique thing about this board, which is the gasket bowl mounting style, you should have aimed for the bowls instead of the socks when eyeing for the Tofu, because yeah, why buy the same thing again when other boards are providing them as well? And lastly, the top mount. Boy, this is where it gets serious and slightly pisses me off. Remember the USB daughter board I shown earlier during unboxing? That cable, the long one, is actually not from the kit, that is from myself. Instead, what you're going to get is this short little guy. And guess what happens when you top mount this thing? This happens. As I finish testing it, when I lift off the case, even midway, the connector tension is just too much because the cable is so short, the female plug on the daughter board just came out. Yeah, what I'm trying to say is, if you're trying to build the Tofu65 2.0 in top mount, first, you can't. Not until you swap up the cable for a long one that is about 15 centimeters for good measure. You have a cable, you say? Don't do it. The sound is quite boring and flat and won't be bringing out the true potential of these baby Raccoon switches. But if you have other switches that you want to try, well, let's say your usual MX Black's Hyperglide, yeah, be my guest. Well, about this issue, I did inform MKB about it. They say they have communicated with KBT fans at the moment and see what they can do about it. So in the meantime, avoid top mount at all costs, please. Exercise extreme caution and small hand movement when opening up the case. So yeah, the Tofu65 2.0 really exceed my expectation when it comes to the sheer amount of configurations you can apply to your specific build. And this thing, usually only high-end boards on the 2K to 3K echelon offers, are accessible at just 900. Yes, 900 isn't exactly affordable, but I'm exerting the point of value. As long as something offers the same level of features but at a cheaper price, I say they are bringing value to the table. Also, there's another point you have to consider: group buys, which the Tofu is not, because you can get it immediately since they are in-stock products. Whether you're from Malaysia, you can get it from MKB, or you're in the Western country, you can get them from KBT Fans official website. So yeah, no waiting or having a full 4-figure fully paid forward just to have, so you have to wait up like 3 or more months, even longer. Yeah, back to the keyboard. The case quality is immaculate. The brass weight is kind of clean and decently heavy, albeit with very little scuffs. The switches, awesome sound profile and feel. Keycaps, clean and cute. Last few points before closing off: remember to apply the force break mod, don't use top mount, be careful when opening and closing the case, and maybe pay attention to how you're going to insert the pour and gasket, because from the guide it says that you're supposed to put them on the top case, but I put it on the bottom case, but I guess that doesn't matter as much. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, one last message, not to MKB but rather KBD fans. Please, longer JST cables. Don't make your customers' life hard and ruin the fun by breaking perhaps the most important component of the keyboard. So yeah, that's all for this video. If you want to get a hold of this Tofu65 2.0, Baby Raccoons, keycaps, yeah, be sure to check out the links below. Peace out.